I request Shanta to come on stage and share with the media.
Good afternoon, everyone. My sincere apologies for being a little delayed in starting the event. Today we are celebrating 35 years of my home family's, existence, and it's been a tremendous journey. And we thought it would be nice for us to, take a pause and try and reflect upon what we've done so far. And it kind of gives us great pride to look back and see what has been achieved so far. It is just not the work that we've done in terms of the business aspect of it, but if you see how we've impacted so many families and lives and communities, not just as a corporate but as a humanitarian aspect of it, in terms of what we've delivered and what we have done so far. So it will be great to kind of interact with you people and carry the message forward in terms of what's been done so far. So I think I like to appreciate our team and Rajta and everyone else who thought it'll be a great idea to do this, because we are normally known to be a little more media shy company, although I think we're trying to change that, because we've been always focused in the work that we do. So I'd like to thank everyone who's here to kind of take this initiative and come and listen to us. So I just want to touch upon a few points. If you see, my home over the last 35 years has grown from a very small company which has been started by my father, Dr. Rameshwar Rao. Unfortunately, he's not here for various other reasons. But to just reflect upon that, he started off this company in a small, on his own. He was the first generation entrepreneur. He started off as a doctor and then an accidental entrepreneur. And then the journey begins there. And then from a small real estate company to becoming the pioneer in this industry, not just construction, but also the allied industries of cement, and we've gotten into a little bit of pharma and now into media and the other sectors of power and education. So we believe my home has to be there wherever we can make a difference in the life of people. So that has been the motto and the center of our core values. And when we look back, we always believe my home should be remembered not for its corporate excellence in terms of our numbers or our growth or profitabilities, but the core value of ethical and humanitarian values which our chairman takes the most pride in. So I think today is a sort of a commemoration of that thought process of our chairman, where he believed business is all about giving to the society. And that I would like to drive. This organization is going to stand here for the coming days. I think we have a great platform that has been given to us, and this is just the beginning. We have larger plans for the company, the state, the city, and the country as well. We believe we are all nation builders in our own way that we contribute, and I believe we will definitely lead that way as it comes to the sector and the industry that we are reflecting from. And I would just like to say that real estate is the flag bearer of the economy right after agriculture. So this sector has always been the great driver of the economy, and it reflects upon the status of our economy and how the country is headed. So I think we are happy to say that Hyderabad per se is doing great, and we have great plans in the coming days. We have large plans for the all sectors. In fact, pandemic has been something this year which no one has anticipated. And in the initial days of lockdown, everyone thought, this is it. This is going to call the doomsday on the sector or businesses. I mean, it was a scary time. Offices were shut down. People didn't know what we were looking at. I mean, it was the fear of the unknown as it comes. So I think we've never seen, I think this is one such incident which has come in 100 years now. So I think it was new for everybody to face, and fortunately for us, given the core values of where we stand and our outlook in terms of what we are supposed to be doing during this time, it's not just the business which was hit, but we also believe that there were a lot more families and communities and people which needed support. So during COVID lockdown, our projects team especially, where we have almost about 10,000 laborers working in various sites, have worked day and night to ensure that their lives are not at. We've ensured all through the 2 months of lockdown, not a single person had to leave our sites. We've ensured that they were taken care of. We've given them foods and supplies and supported their families by transferring some money into their things so that they don't have to migrate. We've taken great care of it. I think even we have to appreciate the state government for working with us in this endeavor of ensuring that, not, we've seen what's happened in other states and across the country where migrant laborers were the worst hit. So we took it upon ourselves to ensure that, none of that happens wherever we are connected. So I think we've done a tremendous job there. We've ensured that all of them were taken care during that time of hardship which all of us faced. And coming back to the real estate sector, within 2-3 months of lockdown, people thought, this is it, we're going to start seeing a downturn. But surprisingly enough, I think the market has, Hyderabad especially, has turned around. Residential has been better than ever before. I think a lot of it is to do with the importance that pandemic has brought into our lives in terms of importance of a house, owning a house and having your own space. And with the amount of time all of us spent with our families, I think that gave a thought to people that, we should own our house, and the amount of time that we spend within. I think it has reflected upon that a lot. And we've seen that translate into numbers, because our numbers have been the best ever in the last 6-8 months post the lockdown, in fact. So it was a very surprise for us also, because given the economic impact, we thought there will be a downturn and we'll have to prepare for it. But surprisingly so, as it comes to the residential space, we've seen great numbers. And I think a lot of it was to do with, the communities that we are building. People started appreciating the amenities and, the activities that happens within the communities as well. So I think that has made a big difference in lives of people, because, all of us before this were on a 9-to-5 clock. And by the time you get back home, you change and you go back to sleep and then back into life. But I think this gave us a moment to pause and see what's actually happening. And I think it gave a great opportunity to all of us to, understand right from our partners to children to, your members of the family, everyone so well in terms of the interactions that we could have. I think it was a blessing in disguise, I would say, in terms of what's coming through pandemic, in terms of the other activities of our life. Of course, we'll have to fight this pandemic together, take our precautions and ensure that we face this challenging times and come out. I'm sure the government is doing its job in terms of vaccination, and sooner than later we will be out of it and look back upon the times, that is the hardships that we had to go through. And I would like to thank everyone who's here for being here and listening to our journey so far. And so like I was saying, our chairman always believed that real estate is a space which always had to be driven by location and location alone. So, and of course we've built communities wherever we have built. We have done a great job in terms of giving amenities and, the kind of lifestyle that we wanted people to enjoy as a home which we would personally live in. So right from our planning stage to the execution, we've always put ourselves at the center of our customers' point and where and how they would experience these spaces. So I think that's helped us a lot in terms of understanding the journey so far and our customers' requirements. We've always revolved around their needs to understand what is it that they would need within a home, within the, the complex, within the community and the spaces that we need. And post-pandemic, now we are coming up with projects where we create an extra space for their offices and, a little bit more of a working environment to be created within the housing development as well. And we're also trying to create some co-working spaces within our communities in the clubhouses, so that, they don't have to go out in terms of office requirement when the second and the third wave, as we are seeing now, is coming along. So a lot of initiatives. I think we believe a dynamic interaction with our customers, with the existing ecosystem that is around us, helps in understanding the needs better, and we've always tried to do that, and we've been open in our conversations and any positive criticism in terms of what needs to be done, and we're always reaching out to our people to understand what can we do next to better from what we've done earlier. I think it is this motive of ours which ensures that we keep ourselves ahead in terms of creating a benchmark for the industry. And we've so far, with all our communities, right from Navdeepa back in '96 to Avatar and Bhuja for now, these are destinations that we're trying to create, not just for the location, but in terms of the kind of lifestyle and the kind of need that people would want within their communities. I think we have a lot more such projects planned. I think now we are coming up with large township developments in Kokapet and Telapur, where we would want to ensure the walk-to-work environment, and not just apartment or not just an office, but an environment where people can stay within a city by itself, micro market as such. So we're trying to create an entire ecosystem where right from their education of their children to schooling, the office, their commercial and social needs, right to their hospital requirements. So we're trying to engage all of that within our developments in the future projects in Telapur. And that will be our next focus for the next 8 to 10 years as far as Resi is concerned and the larger township requirements. Whereas, as Ram has already mentioned, we are coming up with the single largest integrated business park, as we would call it, in Kokapet, which will be our flagship project in terms of our commercial drive. We are building a large portfolio there. That is going to be a very key area of our focus in terms of our business plan. And I think today, as to commemorate our 35 years of existence, we thought it will be nice to start off with a virtual viewing and buying homes online platform. So as of now, people had to come to our offices, sit down and talk to us and figure it out. But given the pandemic times have given us a thought, and why not we create a technology platform where people can interact without having to come down. They can make their bookings online. So I think we are headed towards that direction. I think today we are going to launch that on our sales platform. I would like to call upon Vinod to give the cue for getting started with the launch of our online booking platform, where our customers can start buying and the entire transaction can be done online. So I think this is one of its kind, as I know, when it comes to Hyderabad. So I think you can see it on the screen there. We've now enabled that. I think from today onwards, I think we can start taking our bookings online as well if one wishes to make the transaction completely on the technology part of it on the online platform. From Ugadi. Okay. I think we'll start that from Ugadi. And so this is where it is, and I think the last 35 years has been a great journey for us. And I think we have delivered about 27 million square foot of various projects, and we have another 35 million square foot planned and about 12 million under construction right now. And I think in the next 1 year, we have a lot of residential projects that are going to be launched. I think from here onwards, we are going to grow at a rapid scale, given the potential of the market that has come in the last 4 or 5 years. Post the formation of Telangana, there has been a huge kind of a growth in the commercial space, where a lot of MNCs have come into this market. We are the second largest office market and very close to Bangalore in terms of our numbers at about 10-11 million square foot. So I think this has given a huge upstart for the market in terms of the scale and volume that can grow. So I think and we are geared up to provide for that market, and we are coming up with about 35 million square foot of space in terms of Resi or office over the next 5 to 8 years. I think there'll be quite a large, significant number coming from one player in a particular market. So that's one thing, and I would like to thank everyone from my home family and express my gratitude. A big thank you to all of my employees, our associates, our partners, our vendors, our media family who's supported us all along. Thank you very much, and we look forward to this great journey ahead. Thank you. So today is our 35 years of our construction company, so we've largely focused on that. But otherwise, our cement flagship company, which is about 10 million tons capacity plant, is our second and our flagship company as well, post-construction cement business. We're also into power and education, but education more on the philanthropy side. It's not a business per se. But cement and construction are our main focus verticals, while we have presence in the other sectors as well. Yeah, so there's definitely been an impact of COVID in terms of a pattern of the buying pattern of the customers per se. I think there is, in general, more stronger sense of owning a house, among everybody now post this, because they have seen the amount of time they spent at home during lockdown, and this has kind of opened our eyes to such an event which we never thought would ever come in our lives. So definitely people started looking at having home as at the center of their investment. And that being said, I think even the discussion around the size of apartments has also been slightly different. And people have started, we've personally started looking into how can we make our spaces more friendly in terms of not being exposed to the COVID such situations if they were to occur again. So we're trying to adapt technology where within the lifts per se, we don't have to touch things, and try and make it more technology oriented and things like that. And also the sizing of the apartments, people are trying to go for a larger size. For say a 2-bedroom, 1200, 1300 square foot, people are opting for, a second or a third room to 2.5 bedroom. So we've kind of introduced that mid space of a 1500 square foot flat also, where you have 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, and 1 office or an extra room, which can be either your education need of your children or your office requirement. So there is a little increase in the size of the house that one would normally look at. And coming to our next 5 years business plan and growth plan, it's we are now focusing on larger format of developments, where we do not want to stick to an isolation development where it is just a resi or an office, because we believe the value lies in the entire value chain of having a township like we've mentioned earlier. So we're coming up with a large scale project of a township in Telapur and a business park in Kokapet. I think these 2 projects will be our primary focus over the next 5 years. Miranatika, we will be focusing in all aspects of real estate. There is just not one thing that we would want to focus upon. We want to focus on the entire gamut of the real estate space in Hyderabad, whether it is your resi space, which is of course our larger part of our business right now. But I think going forward, I think commercial space will also be a large chunk of our business. We are going to come, like I said, into the township space, which will have everything right from villas to housing to affordable to larger space to office to commercial in terms of our mall spaces and the social requirements of it. So we will be coming into the entire value chain wherever there is demand and value creation and sustenance of one on the other. So it will be the entire gamut of the real estate space. Yeah, so as we are all seeing, I think we are seeing the highest peaks after last year's COVID. So definitely it is going to have an impact. There's no second thought about it. But I think as it stands in Hyderabad per se, we are not seeing a major breakdown in the supply chain. I think today, whatever news we are hearing and little impact that we are seeing personally in our businesses, things that are happening in Maharashtra. So I think there is definitely a supply chain breakdown that's happening there, given the lockdowns and things that have been anticipated. But I don't see anything currently that is impacting our entire value chain. No, nothing as of now in Hyderabad per se. Getting up, I mean, in last year, March, when this hit us, we were all caught off guard. But I think now we are in a position where we are building up our inventories as well in terms of our supply chain. So we don't see a trouble there. I don't think it will impact, in other words, our plans and our execution targets so far. We are on target with those. So our focus now, especially with the townships that we are coming up, is specially targeted at the millennial crowd, because we are not coming up with an isolated home or a community where you buy an apartment. We are coming up with the entire social needs of these millennials as well. So like I said, we are going to come up with a mall, and the clubhouses will be more engaging in terms of creating co-working spaces and stuff like that. And whatever the needs are, we are going to address them. So we are definitely focusing on that aspect. The Oculus is going to be something we'll have to come and experience it. But other than that, we are trying to take as much experience online and onto the technology platform. So when it comes to our bookings or viewing our entire data and even interacting with our marketing team, it can all happen online now. So I think once post Ugadi, when we start our online sales platform, I don't see a reason why we should have a majority of our numbers happening on the technology platform rather.